Charlie.
Great. Right, good afternoon everyone, my name's Charlie Haynes and as Blake said I'm a second year and science student at the University of Canterbury. So my presentation today is called Making a Good Presentation with an Edge. Now before I begin I'm going to be blatantly honest with you all. When I received Sun's email, what was it, probably a week and a half ago now, I looked at the essay topic and I thought, what on earth is magnetic presentation? I personally have never ever seen anything like this before. And I even Googled it. I even Googled magnetic presentation just to try and understand what it was all about. But then I looked at it and I read over it and then it kind of clicked. And I thought, magnetic. Me being a magnet to you guys, that must be what it's all about. So I kind of thought, well, why don't I build on that? Build on this whole magnet idea, which kind of in the end does make a bit of sense. So anyway, so that's my background to it, and that's how I'm going to essentially present my presentation to you today. Now the reason why my presentation is with an edge is because, as you've found out today, is probably from the start, I'm a bit different. And that's essentially my edge, the way in which I present it. Yet in saying that, whenever you're making a presentation, there does need to be certain structure and rules to follow, which including voice, stance, gestures, hand gestures, which in allowing to make a good speech, it further gives it structure and allows the audience to be engaged and essentially lets them understand it. So to begin, the edge, this is the edge, this is the cut of the blade bit, this is me essentially, this is what I'd like to think that I bring to the table. As a Kiwi bloke, a good old-fashioned fella, what I want to present when I'm personally making a presentation is to make the audience feel relaxed, make them enjoy it. And I can see some smiles, which is good, because it means that I'm not being an absolute bore. But essentially that's what I want to do, that's the edge that I always want to present, is to allow the audience to feel relaxed and comfortable. Because at the end of the day, if that's what it is, then it's going to make it more enjoyable for them. However, as I said, there does need to be some, well, not strict, but some rules that always need to be adhered to when making a presentation. The first one of which is a key structure. And as obviously everyone has outlined, a key importance of that is an introduction and a conclusion. So introduction, obviously, the obvious importance of that is to outline what you're going to say to the audience and how in which that's going to be portrayed. So essentially outlining the main points of what you're going to say. An introduction is also important because it allows you to first capture with the audience, gauge the audience's, their ability, how they react. I mean, obviously, making a speech at a funeral is going to be a bit different to making a speech at an assembly, essentially, let's say. So you need to engage the audience right from the beginning as to how in which you're going to present your speech. Now, I suppose the degree of this is a bit of impromptu-ness as well, to engage in the audience as well, because you may be walking into a stage and you're never going to know who the audience is going to be. So, in actual fact, making a speech or a presentation is always going to have a degree of uncertainty. So, as much as you can prepare, you always need to have some confidence in yourself that you'll be willing to make it up as you go. Essentially, along with the structure, as I said, the main points, there also needs to be a clear conclusion. Obviously, this will be done later at the end of the conclusion of this, but just to outline that again, a key important of the conclusion is just to wrap up what you're going to say and leave the viewers with a lasting impression. And so, in addition with this structure, there's a few other things that should be given along when making a presentation. The first of which is stance and movement. This is kind of how I do it. And to be honest, I'm doing a really poor stance and movement at the moment. I'm kind of, this is how not to do it, ladies and gentlemen. But essentially what I should have been doing, is strong posture and to portray confidence in yourself. Because I mean, if you're confident, if you look confident, the audience is going to believe that what you're saying is going to have some relevance. It's going to make some sense. But if you're and then it's not going to portray well on the people. They need to have some, you need to reflect what you're going to say through your words, through yourself. And in addition to this, there's the addition of hand gestures. Now hand gestures, again, are a valuable tool because, as it's all been said, it gives emphasis to points. But again, it needs to be used with caution. It's over the top hand gestures essentially just distracts the audience and it makes you kind of look like a bit of a laughing stock. So these are some key things that you need to take when making a presentation. In addition with the stance and movement, another key skill that you should always learn is eye contact. Now essentially the way personally I prefer to do the eye contact is kind of I don't even know how to describe it, sort of not a glare, but corner to corner of the room, because again, as it's always been said, it makes you feel that everyone's included and it makes that whole speech making aspect a bit more welcoming for everyone else. If you're staring at one person the whole time, they're just going to get freaked out and it's not very nice, is it? Exactly. So essentially, yeah, so those are the key kind of additional points that I always try and make in making a key presentation. That's along to that sort of X factor, if you call it, that I'd like to think that I bring along to making a successful presentation. So thank you. Cheers.